Welcome to part 4 and also the last part of our ukulele lessons for online virtual learning. Today, we are going to learn one more chord, one more song, and then I'm going to teach you guys how to find your own music on the net so you can learn any songs that you are interested in. So without further ado, here we go. Let's start off with a quick refresher of chords that we already know. So we already know C major. We already know A minor. We know F major, G major, our triangle, and last week we learned E minor, our steps. Well, today we're going to learn another minor chord that pops up into a whole bunch of songs, D minor. So D minor is actually really easy to get to if you think about your F major. So if we find our F major, first finger, first fret, second string, and second finger, second fret, fourth string, we're just going to add our third finger to the second fret on the third string. So our F major and add. I find, especially if you're playing on a soprano ukulele, it can be a little bit easier if you angle your hand in. So remember the G major, we angled our hand out. For the D minor, we're going to angle in a little bit. Hear that beautiful chord again. Now, just like our C chord where we have double C's, this one we have double A's, but that's our fifth of our chord, which gives us that really wants to go to one more chord to finish off. It also, our D minor is in closed root position. It's in root position, and you can tell that because they're all in spaces as opposed to two being in spaces and one being on a line. And that allows us to have a nice, strong sounding chord. So this D minor really wants to go to something else. And we'll see what it goes to after that. But we're going to put this into context. If you are following along in your classroom music pages, then you know that I apparently really love this song right now because we just did a basketball rhythm song to Happier. But Happier is also really fun to do on ukulele. So our chord progression for Happier is A minor, C, F, D minor. We're going to do that again. Let's do one strum per 4 beats on the chord progression, starting A minor. 1, 2, here we go. A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now we're not going to talk about the strumming pattern quite yet because we are going to go straight into practicing with the words and playing at the right time. That's kind of our trick. Once we know the progression, then we can go into lining it up with the words. All right, here we go. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier when the morning comes and we see what we become. In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we become. Every argument, every word we can't take back. Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise your spirits, I want to see you smile, but no, that means I'll have to leave. Instrumental interlude. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. And as you know on the videos, I usually do the first verse and first chorus. So instrumental interlude is where in the song Marshmello has his like DJ moment, the bum 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 ba 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 ba. But you know, I'm not going to do that on ukulele because it's not an electric instrument. So for our strumming, at the beginning, he actually does everything in whole notes. The whole notes is kind of our overall beat for it. So our first two lines. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. We're actually just going to keep that as a single strum each. Let's do those two lines. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. So for this next part, it's actually a really common thing in electric music. And when we have on ukulele, bring the computer screen down so we can see a little better here, that we can actually tap the ukulele like a bass beat. So when the morning comes and we see what we become, in the cold light of day we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we've begun. You could also alternate strum and tap. When the morning comes and we see what we become, in the cold light of day we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we've begun. The other thing that you can do here, if you don't want to do the taps, is for half note strums. When the morning comes and we see what we become, in the cold light of day we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we become. So when he goes into this section here, it is a half note pulse. Same thing with the next section. Every argument, every word we can't take back. As with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends. Now this next section here, then only for a minute I want to change my mind. He actually shifts into a quarter, half pulse. So we have, then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise your spirits, I want to see you smile, but no, that means I have to leave. And if you listen, you'll actually hear on beat 4 of all of them, he always has one of those bass drum hits. So, then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, cause this just don't feel right to me. So this would be the equivalent if you did the basketball lesson to going bounce, 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 catch, but our catch is our tap on the ukulele. Now when you're tapping on the ukulele, it's not on the strings and it's not a really hard smack. It's just kind of a finger tap down. Okay. So at the interlude though, you could add the rhythm. This is the rhythm. Means I have to leave. And it's just for that, it's a very simple strumming. We have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Or in down ups. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. This is one of those songs though that you can make your strumming pattern as you want it to be, and changing the strumming pattern will change the feel of it. For instance, I could start the beginning in a pretty typical ukulele strumming pattern. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. When the morning comes, and we see what we become, and the cold light of day we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we begun. So it changes the feel, it makes it a little bit more islandy. All right, but let's go with the first 2 lines being our whole notes, just like the basketball. And then we have half tap, and then we'll go into the, what was the next one? Quarter, half tap. All right, let's give that a try all together. I'm going to slide forward just a little bit so you guys can see my fingers a little bit easier on the second camera. Here we go. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. When the morning comes and we see what we become, in the cold light of day we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we've become. Every argument, every word we can't take back, and for all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise my spirits, I want to see you smile, but no, that means I'll have 100%, guys. If you've never actually seen the music video for Happier, it's sad. That's all I'm going to say. It's sad. It's about a puppy and a little girl, and yeah, it's just sad. So we know now 6 chords, and this is going to get you through a lot of pop music. But of course, not all pop music. And you might find pop music songs that only have 6 chords, but it's not these 6 chords. So there's different things that you can do for that. One, you could learn the new chords. Now that you have a basic idea of how to get your fingers where they're going and they're used to sort of switching from spot to spot, it's a little bit easier to learn new chords. The other thing you can do is transpose. If you use a website like Ukulele, which is the one that I link our full songs through, they have a transposer on them. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that next. So here we go. Welcome to Ukulele. So Ukulele is my favorite website to get ukulele music from, and specifically chord style ukulele music, because it's easy to use. If you are in grade 5 and 6 and you've done the ukulele unit, then you know about the website. This could be a good refresher for you, or if you remember how to use it, you can click out. For those of you who haven't used this website with me before, here we go. So Ukulele, first of all, its cursor is an ukulele, and that's awesome. But it has a ton of music. It's one of those sites that is filled in with from people sending things in. So if the song hasn't been created in Ukulele, then the song's not in Ukulele. I myself am a contributor to Ukulele, so when I notice something is wrong or off, I will try to go in and fix it. But let's go with what you guys need it for. Let's say, we'll use Happier. So I want to learn Happier by Marshmello. I didn't just use it in the video that just happened. So I'm going to search Happier. And there's 2 options. There's or 3 options, I should say. There's the Ed Sheeran option or the Marshmello option. And we're going to go with the Marshmello option today. And when I get in here, we'll have some information. So artist, Marshmello, the album that it's from, the single for Happier, different genres that it could belong to. Then we have this transposer tool. We're going to come back to that. Our tools here are going to allow us to do a couple of cool things. We could make the text size bigger. So, maybe we have a really big screen and we want to be able to see it a little bit better. We can turn up the text size. The other thing you can do, add to favorite. If you register and make an account, then you can have your favorites that you go through all the time. Difficulty. This I don't put too much to because we are just going to use a transposer and change it and make it an easier difficulty. That being said, if you're challenging yourself to learn ukulele and you are not going to use a transposer, you're going to learn all the new chords, then the difficulty rating can be helpful for you. Don't worry about the comments. Not worth it. This website actually prints really, really well for the print the song. So if you use it, it lines everything up really nicely with the chords. Report issues. If you notice something that is super off, you could report an issue and then moderators go in and look through it. But you realistically make sure you know for sure that there's an issue with it. There's also this fancy little function that I love called auto scroll. So for instance, if I want to play along with the song, I can go auto scroll, and I'm going to use speed 4, and it's going to scroll the page for me as I go. That way I don't have to stop, scroll down, and my song can keep on going. Then we have the chords in this song, and this is what we want to look at when we're looking for a song. So looking here, we know C, we know D minor now, we know F, but we don't know G minor and we don't know B flat major. So we have 2 options: learn those chords, or we maybe want to play it right away. That's when our transposer comes in. Now, on some songs, I'll show you afterwards, it'll have a note and it'll say, for easier set of chords, use transposer -2. Well, we don't have that in this song, so we have to kind of figure it out. And the way that we're going to do that is we are going to, in our case today, trial and error. So 0 is what it exists here. When you look at the actual song, you'll see that the chords are in red. That means that they're going to shift with the transposer for us. So let's try -1. All right, -1 gave us A major, B major, D flat minor, E. Yeah, we don't need these ones. In fact, we don't know any of these ones yet, but you can see in the song here that it has shifted all of our red ones to be those chords. Okay, so -1, not a good transposition. Let's try -2. I mean, we're closer, and we know that we're closer because we have C minor, F minor, A flat. These are all one step flat from what we've been working on. So we're closer. Let's try -3. Nope, didn't work. -4. Really didn't work. -5. Let's see. A minor, C major, D minor, F major. Hey, here's the chords that we know. So now that we've had it transposed, we know that we like it in -5. What you can do is, the same thing that I do is I go up into the URL here and I copy this URL with the transposition because it includes the transposed part in there for you. Now, as you go through and play it, the chord symbols go down with it. Even when it's on scroll, the chord symbols will still be there, so you can check into it to see what they are if you forget in the moment, or you can hover over top and see from there as well. Now, if they don't have the note up here, but you're like, wow, that was a lot of pressing buttons just to find out which one you want to do, you can actually scroll down into the comment section, and the comment section will usually have some information that could be helpful. So for instance, this one says +7 works best for my voice range. 0 is too low for me, but then I have a messed up voice range. Who knows if they have a messed up voice range. You'll notice when I was singing, when we got to the chorus, it was a little high for me, but I chose to use those chords because those are the basic chords that we know. So they suggest +7. If you move a little further, then this one here says +7 and -5. They're almost the same and great for beginners. So we can go back up and look there. Sometimes they'll also have strumming patterns suggestions in here. Keep in mind that these are being put in by random users, so they are sometimes good, they're sometimes confusing, or they sometimes don't even fit into a 4-bar phrase. Take it with a grain of salt. We went through the strumming patterns and the different things that you can do to help yourself out with that too. So that's Marshmallow. Now, to show you what I mean by the different options, I'm going to go to Riptide, our good old ukulele favorite here. And you can see when we first log in and it loads, we have B flat minor, D flat, and A flat. Well, that's no good. So let's look up at our notes. Note, you could also play an F sharp add 9 chord instead of a G sharp. Yes, you could. This means nothing to most of you, and that is okay. Second note, alternative, possibly easier version, use the transposer to turn the chord 1/2 step down, or put a capo on fret 1 if you want to stay in the same key. So if you have a capo or a capo at home, there's a big argument whether it's capo or capo. For your guitar, you could use it on your ukulele. Realistically, the chord change doesn't affect us too much to keep it in the same key for this one, so that's all right. So its suggestions go -1, we went -1, and there we go. Now on both of these, we've gone minus. That's pretty typical for songs that are done by male singers, because male singers have lower voices. Adult male singers, I should say, have lower voices, whereas children singers or female voices tend to be a little bit higher. Not always, but tend towards it. So the other thing you can do on this page here is there's top 10 songs view, and these are really popular songs on ukulele. I'm going to go to the Hey There Delilah one because there is another thing that you might see on this webpage called tab. And tab is, you read it as if these are your fingers. So to play the beginning of this one, it's saying that on my C string, I should have 2nd fret and here. So I'm going to leave these two down because of how I can click or strum. And I'm just going to strum all of them. That doesn't sound good. I'm actually just going to strum. Whoa, what is going on with that one? I don't know what's going on with this one, guys. Sorry. If I was to transpose it, because that one is very wrong, it would actually go to C to E minor. So I don't know what that tab is doing. But if you know the song Hey There Delilah, you can hear how it would go. So I'm going 1 string, 2 strings. So sometimes you'll see tab like that. There's also at the beginning of Hallelujah, which is another very, very common song, an easy song to learn to start on ukulele, some tab. And so what they've done on the tab here is they've started you on a C chord, and you just pick the individual strings. There was a secret chord, and then you go into regular chords, or you can keep going with the tab. To be completely honest with you, there is a proper way of what finger to do what string, but that is a very advanced ukulele technique for what we're doing on virtual learning, which we're only getting up to intermediate. So just a quick thing into tabs if you get into a song that has tabs. All right, that is the end of our Part 4 ukulele and our online virtual ukulele lessons. Of course, if you guys have any other questions about ukulele, or you're learning a song and you're having a hard time, or you just want a little bit more help or to chat with me, you can send me a message through the Extra Music Google Classroom, or you can send me an email, which you can find in the Extra Music Google Classroom. All right, guys, it's been awesome learning ukulele with you. I hope to hear your ukulele lovely playing, and we'll see you guys all later. Bye.